this thing is one joke after another, and I love how visually they compartmentalize the crew of people. So they talk about all the money that they spent on it, but for instance, the Harfoots, we're just going to decorate this part. That's it, and we're just going to walk back and forth in this little area. It never looks huge. Like when you think of the battle for Helm's Deep, which I know has a phenomenal story behind it, but nothing in Rings of Power feels big. And the Harfoots are just, I don't know who's worse. Bronwyn, is Bronwyn better? I was hoping she'd die.
Well, here's the other part. We didn't get anything of that human side of the story in the finale. It's so weird that you have a season finale and only 2 out of the 3 pockets of people you're focused on have stories in it. Or technically, because they went to Numenor, where the king dies, and they did not set that up well because they talk about, when he passes away, there'll be tons of black flags. And then they do that wide shot when they're coming into it, and I did not register the black flags because they're so small in the distance. You're not picking up on it right away. But the music is trying to convey to you that it's tragedy, and because the queen is blind, she can't see, and everyone's speechless. But it doesn't hit because we didn't get enough of a setup or build towards that.
Thanks for what the hell had happened there? I didn't see anything. It looked completely normal to me.
No, the ships had black flags. I meant the king was dead.
Yeah, and we learned that in this episode.
Clear about that.
They were not very clear about that. Even the staging in the scene where that guy's the daughter and the sister, the attractive white woman, she's drawing the king, but she's drawing him on the wrong. Like she's drawing his face from her looking towards his left side, but she's on the right side of the bed, and so she can't get that angle. So how is she drawing that? She has to be on the opposite side to get that angle to do a still life or a portrait of a guy. They didn't even pay attention to what they were doing to coordinate the blocking of the scene at all. Like
and then he had that secret info to give her,
to the secret passage of the seeing orb and all that stuff, and thinking that's his daughter, and it's not, clearly.
And I didn't understand what was going on with that at all.
No, neither did I.
Oh, so sure we'll find out in 2 years in season 2.
It's unbelievably bad. And when Muriel was saying, "So what's happening? Can you tell me what's happening?" and the guy on the boat just wouldn't tell her. For fuck's sake, can you just tell her what you're seeing? Why are you holding on to it? Because it's so tragic. Just tell her.
I'm reminded of that sketch from Roseanne with Jackie trying to convey that her father's died over the phone. That's the type of thing that you would have here. It's like, he's passed away. What? He's passed away. Like, he's no longer with us. It passed away. And then it's like, the king's dead. And then the queen just doesn't register it. Like, it just feels set up for comedy when you have that much silence.
The white dude who has absolutely no genetic relationship to you, he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a really weird thing going on with the parentage and lineage in the series, but yeah, that aside.
And Lenny Henry died apparently.
He died too. But
the wizard couldn't heal him.
I will say that this is very much in line with Harfoot ideology and way of life, because we saw that right away, that we're going to sing about being together, but if you fall behind, you're dead. We're going to leave you behind. It's our favorite thing in the world is to leave you behind for any reason whatsoever. He has a little paper cut in his belly.
We're leaving you behind.
But he's like,
leaving you behind.
And he's like, I'm gonna die now.
That's right.
Like, no, don't bother rescuing me. You just leave me behind.
I'm feeling better.
Watch the sun.
We're leaving you behind.
Yeah, the Harfoot gets stabbed in the side. And dies that morning, and Halbrand gets stabbed in the side and lives for 5 days to make it to the elven world where he can be healed.
Yeah. and if he's Sauron, why wouldn't he be able to heal himself like super quickly? And
It was
what
all
was
a
that?
plan to get to the elves so he could forge the rings.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that whole scene with Galadriel by the pond where she suddenly was in the water and then she's back at her beginnings where she was
because the water is always right,
I guess the koi pond is always right.
She was put under a spell so that Halbrand could vanish back to Mordor.
Yeah, and then Halbrand.
So are you saying she was playing coy with the koi pond, Paul?
Yeah, that's what she was. She was being fishy with the dishy. And
probably there was a sex scene there that we didn't see. Maybe that's why there was.
She was all wet at the end of it.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
probably there was that's why the intimacy coordinator was there for the Halbrand and Galadriel sex scene. You see, I told you. I mean, that was such a giant missed opportunity that it had to have been there. I'm sure that they filmed it and then they cut it, and we're going to get flashbacks to it later on when she ends up pregnant with Sauron's child that they need to travel to another state to deal with.
Right, and they have to take.
It has to be there. There's no way these writers didn't see that the way that we have set this up, we're going to need a sex scene here.
He did ask her to be his queen.
Yeah, you see? Yeah. And then she passed out in his presence. Maybe he roofied her. No, he definitely roofied her.
There we go. Okay, that's a good guess. I mean, from a melodramatic perspective, it would make a lot of sense to pull that trick off.
Yeah, and you see, it's another tacit mystery box because she just blacked out in the water and then he was gone, and he must have roofied her for that to happen.
Yeah, and what is he going to do now back in Mordor? Like, what's happening now? What's his plans? Who's he going to be talking to? I mean, he almost killed the other dark elf. What happened to him? So why didn't he go ahead and kill him? The elf tried to kill Sauron, right? But the dark elf didn't recognize that Halbrand was Sauron. It's so confusing. It's just such a mess.
It is indeed a mess. So let's get into a few of these super chats here, because
yes, indeed,
we're just going to twist our minds thinking about this, and Tom is going to lose his mind listening to us.
I almost fell asleep 3 times now. Doug 1985 VA says, "Good God, Halloween Ends was trash." Yeah, I have a hard time arguing with this. I didn't hate it as much as some people did, but I can't recommend it to nobody, that's for sure. Mecha J says, to quote comic book guy, dumbest ending ever. She-Hulk finale in a nutshell. Indeed. Vincent DeLeon says, keep wanting to say DeLorean. Tom, it will be years before it gets done. It gets better. These are and will be known as the dark ages of pop culture. Well, they've moved on to vandalizing actual art now, if you haven't seen that.
They did.
Yeah, gosh.
You dumb fucks.
Yeah.